Another story brand that Heather has adopted over the years that is a favorite of mine is Imperfect Parents. And I mean, I will say, I remind myself of that some days. We're all imperfect parents. We're all perfect parents. But I think it is another key. Heather just mentioned these parents need prayer. It's also an encouragement to those of us who are stepping into it or are thinking of stepping into it to go, I don't have to be perfect to do this. I don't have to have all the answers right away. I don't have to have the perfect home. I don't have to have the perfect family. I just think it's a really key reminder, more than even just a story brand. It is the message we want to get out there as we connect with people. You do not have to be perfect. You won't be perfect.
And then we're not looking for perfect. There is no perfect home. What we're looking for is a welcoming home. And that is so huge. And the reality of that Imperfect Parents kind of slogan that came to me was because all of us have been through some sort of trauma. Yeah. All of us have gone through hard times. And what we do with that is what's going to make the difference. And, maybe there was an alcohol problem or a drug problem or even neglect when you were growing up. You can take that, you can turn it for good. And really, those of us that have lived that or have been through that at some point, we are able to get on that level with what these kiddos are going through. And we can understand and we can help them and we can show them that it's going to be okay. I mean, it's hard, absolutely, but it's life and that they're not alone and that we're not alone. And to me, that's what's perfect about the Imperfect Parents slogan. But what about the best yes? The best yes is pretty powerful too, right? And I feel like some people see that, whether they have fostered before or they've thought about fostering or they've heard a story, they're like, I don't know if it's the best yes.
That's right.
But it is. It's the hardest yes.
That's right.
But it's the best yes. And when you have a team such as Encourage Foster Care to walk alongside you, you will see that. Doesn't mean that there's not going to be tears. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be heartbreak or even anger, because it is a broken system. And that's the reality. But when you say yes and you step in to the hardness that these kiddos have gone to and the families, and you see one smile, you see them coming in not eating, to 3 weeks later they're eating everything and they're happy. They've done a 360 because now they feel safe and they know that you're there no matter what. And that's what makes it the best yes. And with our jobs, we do have the opportunity to go out and share the need, share our hearts, hear the different stories, and walk you through the next process. But what's really cool is once you become a part of our Encourage family, we don't just pass the buck. Katie and I are here throughout the entire journey. You'll see us all the time. You can reach out to us all the time. Second part of my position is Director of Operations, so I also have the opportunity to make us better each and every day. And so I want to hear from our families. We're not going to always do everything imperfect, right? But I need to hear from you. What was the hardest parts of this? What can we do to make things better? How can we support you more? And, I love the recruiting. That's my heart. That's my passion. But I love knowing that I have such a dependable, loving team that we can constantly better ourselves and, help make this run as effective and efficient as I can, not for us, but for you and for these kids and these families. And it makes us so happy.
We both have second roles, and so my other piece is the trainer, which I was super excited to be asked to step into, because one of my favorite parts as recruiters is something that kind of came up organically, but I was asked to do a coffee break or just to get together with some light refreshments with a group of ladies that wanted to really have a safe place to ask some deeper questions and dig into what this really would look like. Maybe ask the things that they don't want to ask at a booth sitting outside of a church or at a conference or an event. And I realized while doing that, it really is an awesome segue into training. Training is the place where you get to go even deeper into what exactly is this going to look like. And you're going to start to get some of those tools handed to you so that you start to already piece this together and get that confidence. And it's just been a really neat thing to see that segue, or to get to make that segue myself, to meet the people either at the table or in these coffee breaks, or just getting together with somebody for coffee on their own, or a phone meeting, or a phone call. Absolutely. Or an email or a text, and just making that initial connection, but then getting to walk to that next place of going a little deeper, hearing their actual concerns, and starting to put some answers to those.
So let's talk a little bit about the pre-service process. We have mentioned in a previous episode that it's 24 hours. So we do 2 power weekends, Saturdays 9 to 3 and Sundays 1 to 7. And during that time, we're doing all the state mandated training that is part of the modules. We also do CPR first aid during those classes, and then we have an entire day where our very own director at Encompass Christians Counseling, Sheila, comes in and teaches TBRI. And Katie, do you want to talk a little bit about this TBRI? I know we've mentioned it a couple times. I will say I probably would have been a better parent of my own 5 children if I had this training. It's amazing, but do you want to talk into that just a little bit so they know what they expect?
Yeah, so as Heather mentioned, it is the director of our own Encompass Christian Counseling that comes and does it. And, we do mention that we're a smaller agency, but I think the last number I heard for Encompass was they have over 70 counselors. So, we are also out there, and she comes with her own personal experience, which is so wonderful and brings a real, just helps you feel a lot more normal.
She's also a foster to adopt mom.
Yes. But she also comes with a wealth of knowledge as a counselor, and with lots of different experiences that she's had over the years, situations they've encountered through other counselors that have been in Encompass. So it really is a great place. Honestly, it's my favorite part of the whole training, where you start to really say, I can do this. Okay. Yes, these kiddos are coming with things, and it's scary for us as parents to open our home to kiddos also. They're scared, we're a little scared, but this is where I feel like you can start to say, okay, these are tangible ways that I can help make them feel comfortable. These are some easy first steps into just helping welcome them into our home. And then as we put meat to the TBRI skeleton, just feeling, I watch that excitement grow in families as they're sitting there.
Just realize, okay, there are resources, there are ways. Yes, as we step into this to help us with whatever's going to come our way.
That's right.
So once you've attended the 24 full hours of our pre-service, then that's, I think Katie had mentioned, you will get to meet your assessor in person during that time, because that is kind of one of those things that for social workers can come to my house. It's like intimidating. And I always laugh and say, listen, we're not coming to see if there's dishes in your sink and laundry on your floor. We're coming in there to get to know you, and for you get to know us and ask all the questions that you now have from attending the pre-service training.
That's right.
And that's when they walk through, little things like, your tornado, your fire escape, all those little things that really it's getting to know you, what would make the best placement in your home, whether that be a young age, school-age kiddos, teenagers, siblings, whatever. That is just really a good connection time. And I'll tell you, our assessors love their time with their families. And they even take the time to follow up with you once you've become licensed, to check in a month later. And then they do that periodically just to see if there's anything they can do for you. Because the simple fact of the matter is we all want to be a part of your lives, and we don't want you to ever feel that you cannot reach out to us. We are all here all the time for you.
Another key thing in the home assessment is they're coming in to see your whole family if you are married and have children. And so it is a place, too, where your kiddos are invited into parts of the conversations. Absolutely. And so that support for the whole family, I feel like, is just there right from the beginning.
Right. Yep. So what to expect from the time that you either call us, email us, or go to our website and inquire to the training process and the home study process is 3 to 4 months. So from that first step, it'll take 3 to 4 months before you are fully licensed to start accepting placements into your home.
And that's really where the excitement begins. As you are licensed and ready.
And a little thing too, we understand that not only stepping in to say yes to foster care, but taking the time to either travel to one of our trainings, giving up 2 full weekends of time with your kids and your family. We also, once you become licensed with Encourage Foster Care, we compensate you for your time. And I think that's huge because one, that can help you kind of get ready and set up a bedroom, or, just start to collect some things for foster placements, or simply take your kids out to eat and enjoy a day. And just know that we are so thankful to you for stepping in to say yes to foster care and to becoming part of our family. Next time on Let's Talk Foster Care, we are excited to share that we'll be bringing in some of our other staff members to say hello and kind of tell you a little bit about what they do. And we want to encourage you to tune in on every second and fourth Monday at 7 o'clock on our socials.
Once again, check out our website, encouragefostercare.org/let's talk.